Again, guys. Wow. Coppa, Coppa, Coppa. Everybody's talking about it. I figured I'm going to have to make a whole bunch of videos now before the end of the year, before January 1 rolls around, because I'm going to have to delete my channel unless things change. I was on the Baseball Collector live feed last night, and I didn't really understand too much about this thing. So I decided to spend some time today researching it further. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous what they're going to do to YouTube creators. And I'm just getting started. I was doing this for fun, but man, the risk seems so great. So anyway, I might as well just show the rest of my collection and do a bunch of videos and then get out of here before January 1st rolls around. I'm wearing my Luis Gonzalez jersey. This was signed to my wife. My wife used to work for GNC, and she would sign the athletes who would sponsor their products. And it was kind of fun watching him on ESPN, and then talking to him right afterwards. But he won. He had a game-winning hit in a World Series. Luis Gonzalez, he was a good player. And I'm also sporting one glove. So from my last video, I had a comment that, my new name's going to be two gloves or whatever, or white gloves, something like that. So, I'm Italian, so I figured I'd take on a new Italian kind of mafia name, right? So I'm going to be Johnny One Glove from now on. I'm going to don my one glove for my last few weeks able to do this. So I wanted to show you just a variety of some vintage cards, some interesting sets, and just a few random items, I guess. So I wanted to start off with the 1929 cash-in cards. And these are oversized cards. They made a larger version of these, and they were thicker cardboard. I can't remember the exact size, but back in the early days of eBay, I had purchased a Babe Ruth. And I didn't used to spend a lot of money on cards. Cards, you didn't have to spend hundreds back then. And I found this Babe Ruth, and it was this pose, and it was larger. And I guess the seller didn't exactly know what it was. I didn't know what it was when I bid on it, but I just, on a whim, I bid, and I think I won it for $300. So when I got it, I looked in the vintage catalog of, sports cards, baseball cards, and I researched it, and I determined it was that W, and I don't know what number it is, but it was a W card. It was a larger version of this. And man, when I got that card, it was just in perfect condition. I so regret selling that thing because I would love to see what it would have graded. And I haven't seen another one come around. They're not very common, but this thing was so sharp. So I turned around, put it on eBay, and sold it for about $800. I was proud of myself at the time, but now I'm kicking myself. I almost regret selling every card I ever sold, even if I have doubles of them. I remember 1980, I had 9 copies of Rickey Henderson's Rookie, right? And it was one of those times where I was going through that period. I didn't have a lot of money, and I'm just like, well, I want to collect. I want to buy new things, so let me sell doubles to help fund my new purchases. And I sold 8 of the 9. Tried to keep the best condition one. And, I kind of regret that. I wouldn't mind having all 9 of those back because I'm sure they didn't sell for very much back then. So anyway, back to my story. Here's your Babe Ruth, 1929 cash-in. Here's a Little Poison, Lloyd Wainer. He has, not sure if you know, but he has the highest batting average of any rookie in history. Wait, is it the batting average? No, I think it's the most hits. Somebody put in the comments. It's one of those. He either has the most hits or the highest batting average by any rookie. And this is a beautiful Jimmy Fox. I just love this pose. Jimmy Fox does not get enough hobby love, man. That guy was incredible. Got a lefty-o duel. Have a Burley Grimes. And I have a Pat Malone. He was born in Altoona, PA. I think he won. He was a 2-time wins leader, I believe. And I think he led the league in strikeouts 1 year. It's probably one of the better pitchers you never heard of. Then we'll move on to the 1931. These are the W517 cards. Now, the first one I ever got was a while back, like way back when I was young. And it's a little rough, but I still love the look of it, so I won't replace it, but it's Mel-Ott. You know, this is one of the first really old cards I got, and the first Mel-Ott. I was so excited to get this when I was little. Here's Hack Wilson. Now, he holds the record for the most RBIs in a single season with 191. He was originally credited with 190, but later they gave him an extra one. He also held the single season home run record in the National League with 56 for many, many years till the 90s. We have Lefty Grove, a great pitcher, one of the all-time greats. And a Mickey Cochran. And that's it for those. I have this old postcard. If anybody knows anything about this, please put it in the comments, because I'd like to learn more about it. This is a Jimmy Collins. Let's see what that looks like. It's an actual postcard, and people would send these. So this one was stamped in Pennsylvania. But I believe that's Jimmy Collins. So if you know, please give me some comments. This will be the last time I can get comments, right? And how about a 1909 Ramley? This guy caught most of Cy Young's wins. And we'll finish off with a 1932 Sanella Margarine Babe Ruth. Guys, if you're looking to buy a Babe Ruth and you don't have one and you want one from his playing days, this is the one to get. This card is very affordable. It's probably should be higher. I have the complete set of these. There are different types. As you can see, this one is a Type 2. I actually had a Type 1 and a Type 2. And they were both graded the same. And I'm not really that into backs, so I sold the one. And these are, the way they rank the types is where the Sanella is. So they have one here. I think they have one centered and one at the top. And it was known that they had 3 versions. But now they're grading them, and there's a 4th version. And if you look at the 4th version, I mean, you can't tell the difference. I have no idea. Nobody can explain to me what the Type 4 is. So that's what the types are. And I was probably dumb for selling the Type 1 because I think it's probably more rare than this one. To be honest with you, and it's a stupid reason to sell it, but it was in one of those old holders where it was flopping around, and this one was real nice and tight and presented better. So I kept this one. So I'm going to keep the videos coming. I have lots of more good stuff to show and only a few weeks to do it. So thanks for watching.